What is good, everyone? Today we're gonna go over a lot of the things that's happened in the past, week in Gears eSports side of things. Um, Jacko, a good friend of mine, in the scene at least, he got verified, and this is gonna be a trend of a lot of these people starting to get verified in the scene. There's been people that were pro never got verified before, but now people are just getting verified left and right. So pretty cool to see. So if you guys don't know, Jago's the head coach of KCP, and that's the team that used to be on Vanquish, and they're on this run of becoming their own kind of dynasty in the scene. So there's that. I'm gonna show you guys some more people that got verified. So Bronny, he got verified as well, as you can see here. Don't have to really load up the tweet. Another person here, pretty sure is Scabsy. I just gotta wait for this to load up. Kinda unfortunate. Ah, man. Sure. So Bronny, he's now on that Hive team, which they're called Outcasts, so they're not really under Hive. Maybe they're going to be, because they qualified for the Pro League, but who knows what organization they're going to be under. But that roster consists of Lava, Yachty, Cells, and now Bronny. They dropped ThingTwo, but I'm sure ThingTwo didn't mind, because we'll see later on down into these tweets if this will load up. But Scabsy, he was on that Oxygen roster, and he was in the Pro League one other time, but he just left and now trying to compete in Halo. So baby, welcome to the party, as he says. Oh my goodness, is load's pretty slow. Man, it's rough. Probably gonna have to edit some of this stuff. It is looking bad. Yeah, I don't know what's that tweet. Move on to this Knights GG tweet. So there was some like showdown thing that was worth like good amount of money. And Lava, Detox, A-Cells, and Powers, they took down Mexico. I'm not sure on who was on that team, but it looks like they took one player from each team. Lava from the Outcast team, Detox from Rise, A-Cells from KCP, and then Powers from United. And I'm gonna assume from the Mexico squad they took like Raver and like other players from the Mexico teams. I'm not 100% sure who really won that, but pretty cool to see. Maybe it's in this one here. So yeah, there's the NA showdown. So yes, that's exactly what they did. From Rebel, they took Demon. From they did a Team USA versus Team Mexico. So that must have been a really cool showdown. They took a player from Noble, which was dyslexic, player from PK, which makes sense, is Raver, and then a player from Queso, which was Sleeper. So kind of makes sense why USA won. A little bit, you know, I don't know, it's kind of even actually, low key. But, you know, NA is far superior and always has been and always will be. So there's that. There was the Astrobattles 2v2 event that happened. So hopefully you guys claimed your skins so you guys could see. And on who won that event. We'll get to that later, but there's been a lot of drama and the whole coaching thing. I'm Vane. This guy used to be the coach for this team in Cells, Yachty and them, and Yachty's just calling people out that they don't do much, they don't do anything. They just sit there and, you know, have the title as professional coach or whatever. So interesting to see about that. But who knows? I kind of feel the same way. There's people that say they are coaching, they don't even get like scrims for their team, so it's kind of rough. Moving on. There's a tweet here. It's gonna load and take fucking forever, but it's Rapid saying FA, so that former F&I roster potentially could be broken up. This tweet here is exist. Can't really see it because the the loading time is horrible, but exist. He posted FA. Just moving on even further and further. So we're gonna look at this Astrobattles 2v2 tournament. I'll put a link in the description down below. Who played in it? Who plays top 8? And it looks like Handles and A-Cells, they won the tournament. It was a close matchup. It went 3-2. They 3-0'd Rise, which probably was like Enzim and Avexes. Oh, actually, that's Enzim and Avexes. So Handles. So the both Rise boys, they both got 3-0'd. I'm assuming that was Detox and I don't know. Let's take a look. So it was Detox and Rushies. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. And then it was Enzim and Avexes. They 3-0'd Cells and Yachty, so it just really shows you how far off, I guess, the talent level is with these players. Like, they're just not there yet, but they are pro, but there's levels to it. Handles and A-Cells 3-0. Crows and Gary's. Crows was one of the winners of these Astro Battles. He won it with Duke. So we could see a potential of maybe Duke, Crows, Gary, and someone else teaming in Gears to compete in that AM Challengers series. Yeah, Chaviosos and Sleeper together. So these Rise boys just barely beat them 3-2. So for me to lose to them barely, Chavioso and Sleeper, just barely, and I mean barely. I think we lost them like 10-9. We dominated one game, they dominated one game, but it went down to the wire in the last game, very close, 10-9. And I don't know, it was pretty close. But it did go like this, 3. It went to 2-1 map count, but crazy to see. Here it was Powers and Keem, where they barely lost to Injustice. So imagine Powers actually having an actual player who competes in the game. That'd be pretty insane. But they placed top 8, and all the top 8 people earn the right to earn some money. Let's take a look at who else competed in this tournament. We had J-Mobs and Zenon. They lost to the finalists. We had Blue Hundreds. Got Wavy IRL, and they had no chance. We had Enigma and whatever. They had no chance. Let's see who these guys played against. They played against Racer and Decided, it looks like, so nothing special there. You got Easy Money, which they wasn't. This Volks and C-Tips, so they just didn't make it into the money, so that's unfortunate. But they did beat some team. Fatal Rushes and It's Birdie, so a bunch of nobodies, to be honest. Moved on to this roster. You had Centix, Deathwish, and Reaptees. It's kind of interesting to see Deathwish and Reaptees playing together. Which was UGK, and then they lost to Chaviosos. You have Neuralize. See who's under that. Always Crystallize and Nero, so that's pretty interesting to see. Crystallize with his coach. Nero was a competitive player and was in the Pro League before, so they had a tough matchup there. Moving on. Yeah, there's a Deathwish and Reaptees. You had RBL. Let's take a look at that. I'm assuming the Rebel. So you had Idenos and Demon in there. They beat up Purge and Vedex. These guys are some AM Challenger players that play the game quite a bit. So it was kind of sweaty first round, and then they had to play against the champions. So that's just unfortunate to see that they don't get to be in the money. And Crows and Gary did. Let's see what who they had to play up against. They played up against TQ, Problems, and Strafe. So now Problems is a pro player. So it was a close 2-1. So that's interesting. Then you had Kuga and Kryzens. They played Gears Girls. So the girls got a win. So that's good on them. Congratulations to them. Then obviously lost to Crows and Gary, but that was for money. So like honestly, Crows and Gary so far had the easiest bracket to get into money at least, but then they had to play against the best team in the game. Well, two of the best players in the games right now. You had Beers and Gears. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's a freebie for Avexies in them. That is literally a freebie. Then you had, I don't know who the heck that is. It was Javon and Rocky against Cleaver and Data. They definitely had a free first round, Rocky and Javon, but then they had to play against Avexies and Inzum, which they're very competitive in these 2v2s. You've seen them finals, semifinals, all the time. TOTYS, this is interesting. Toady and Dyslexic. Wow. So how you gonna be Toady and Dyslexic and then get 3-0'd by Avexies and Inzum? They definitely had a hard fought, like, oh, and it was 2-1 here. Bodies and Shawnee, these guys been around in the top AM scene for North America, so they definitely had a hard run for Cells and Yanni. That was definitely rough for them, because then they would have to play Handles and A-Cells, and that's just not going to happen. So yeah, that's pretty crazy to see with these brackets and the teams. I'll definitely put a link in the description down below. Moving on, Dyslexic verified. We had some interesting tweets here as well. Nunz on what his thoughts are. For years we bitched about what made Gears bad. Devs laughed at us. Someone check how Halo is doing, and they are at LAN right now, by the way. 65k in Halo Twitch stream right now. And that's just from just the start off. It went to like over 200k in viewership. Schmay, he says they just need to pull the plug and put their heads down for a few years and release a game that goes back to its roots. Still confused. Everyone's still competing. Is okay playing that version of icee. Microsoft going to keep it bleeding till Gear 6. They're content with where they are now. I have to agree with Nunz. Where the game is at is definitely not what it should be. Schmay, after that reply, he had his thoughts on the whole Gears of War thing. So, gonna read that. Most hilarious thing about Gears is the community universally agreed and wrote a book to the devs about what they wanted. They read it, then release multiple games, ignoring it all. Not possible to get the Gears Forum kids to agree ever again. Y'all remember how they did Kenny. They were wasting money flying us there. This is former professional Eternity, by the way, to tell us no and send us home. It was one of the most bizarre experiences of my life. I don't know why I played that shit as long as I did. What a fucking disaster. And Kenny tried years longer than everyone else with zero hope crazy. And of course, honorable mention of being flown there, being forced to tell Node sorry before I could participate. So that's pretty interesting to see there. Some few choice words. Former, I guess, semi-pro Tristan. Welcome to Belong, Franklin, Tennessee. Be on the lookout for an arena coming soon to your city. So he's helping out with doing these, I guess, gaming arenas, which is pretty big, honestly. So if you're an AM team and you got one of these in your malls or somewhere close by, these can be honestly very crucial and beneficial for your teams to compete in tournaments, as long as the internet is good and you got all your teammates sitting beside each other and all that. So I think it's a great idea, and I think he also graduated in something in business. So he's been moving up in the world ever since he stopped competing in Gears. So I'm happy for him. Even though there's moments I hated that guy, but seeing other people succeed is very nice to see. Losers tomorrow morning, lost tiebreaker. I think they placed like top 49 in the tournament out of 300 teams, which is not like the greatest thing, but not like terrible. Here's some tweets with CrushMo. Never playing unprepared again. It's embarrassing. So we're gonna move on to this tweet before I start talking about it. It's unfortunate to hear, but it is what it is. That one hurts. We won the first map convincingly, then we lost momentum on map 2 and got reverse swept. GG's to everyone we played. Gotta scrim a lot more and start entering online tournaments once I'm back home. So definitely didn't have the what's it called? I guess like they pretty much didn't really scrim at all. They're playing with his brother that is a fourth who barely plays the game, so it's understandable, but to get double first round it is kind of harsh in a way. So there's that. Moving on. We got ligaace eSports. This was an event that was happening for, I guess, like Mexico or something. And Elevate almost beat Rebel, but Rebel beat them, and then Rebel went on to go face Noble. I think this was for top 3 or something, or I don't know what it was, but it was a crazy event, online event there. Gonna keep moving on. Hopefully it loads up. Alright, so here it is. Domes, the Gears scene, the COD scene. Looking at the Halo scene right now. It's funny to see. We have Jip having his opinion on it. Gears isn't even close to either of them, so nah, it's the COD scene looking at Halo. Microsoft already took Gears out back to go smell the flower. Still makes me angry though. So unfortunate to see there. And here's icee's tournament. Out of the tournament, was fun. I'm happy with how I played. Excited to actually grind the game. Appreciate all the love from everyone next time. So I don't know what this actually means. Does this mean icee's done with Gears? Is he completely gone? I don't know. Does that mean Enzum is actually on rise now? Are they looking for someone? Potentially maybe on United if they can. Heard some weird things going on there with Kenny and not what is it? Not getting along with his other teammates and TJ and Demise. Who knows what's going on? But we don't know for the top echelon of these teams with roster changes. We kind of knew what the bottom is, but we don't really know what's going on with the top teams just yet. Moving on, as you can see here, Gears eSports announcing your 2v2 fall major champions in handles and ace cells, so congrats on them. There's a bracket thing going on here with L Gamer Wicho. This was like some I guess you could say like a broke man's Twitch rivals or something, but he hosted a big event with content creators, streamers, pro players and stuff in it. See if he actually made a tweet on who won. If he didn't, that's kind of, he didn't really make a tweet, huh? So I don't know, this guy is kind of full of himself, but we're gonna unfollow him. Don't really like him that much. But there was some big event that happened, you know. Again, doesn't really say who won. As you can see here, went down with Kenny. I'm assuming that's Kenny Kent as the content creator. You had Sleeper up there. You had Domes up there. Multi-city. So there's some crazy big names. Pretty sure Domes would have tweeted that he won. I didn't see it, so I'm gonna assume like Sleeper won it or something. Moving on to other things. People knowing who you are in a video game might be the most annoying thing ever sometimes. Being on a second account is 100% more fun because the whole lobby ain't after your side account's greater. Power says, bro, I got jumped for 2 minutes in FFA. FF players, when they see someone they recognize. So it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah, they'll try to go after you, call you that you're ass and all that stuff. Everyone's done it in the past. But like also like if they really enjoy you as a content creator, they'll be like, oh, enjoy your content and yada yada, go look, have fun, or GG. So it really is a double-edged sword with that. Cinemas, he's FA. He was trying out with like multiple different teams. This guy's always like moving around, it seems like. Another thing here from an OG, he created A1, and he also competed in UE and didn't really compete in Gears 4, and this is probably the reasons why. Seeing all these OGs come back and still be dominant in Halo makes me think, if they made a Gears similar to 1, the same would happen, or do you think the young lords will take over soon? Enough more time in the game. Fatal Strike said the same would have happened. Young guns would work their way up the ladder too. Jipri said if they created Gears like the original game, the old heads would battle well. So honestly, I think it definitely needs to go back to the old days. This new Gear shit is just terrible in my opinion. Moving on, we have ThingTwo. He came in second in the Championship Sunday 1v1 tournament. So it's crazy to see a familiar face who was professional in Gears 2 and came in second in this, I guess, mini 1v1 tournament. So cool to see there. Gonna move into these rosters in the Excel board here. So this here, as I'm recording right now, this is kind of like the roster right now, but they just keep like rotating teams in and out. The entree is back in the scene, playing with Deathwish and them. Drippy McLeod is looking for a team to coach or team under rated R. Cyclope is Emery, Dementives, was Cinemas, as you saw, FA, so who knows who he's playing with. Then you got Abusive, J-Smooth, J-Mobs, and Flash Moves. Cinemas was playing with Cyclope, then he was playing with Solubles, but definitely he is looking for a squad, so we're going to put him back into the FA list. And the thing I want to talk about is this here. Rapids, he said FA as well, so who knows what's going on there. We're just going to leave that for now to see if they're still under F&I or whatnot. Embers, he's kind of part of the Queso coaching staff. You got Nero and Embers, and their team, you got Sleeper, Crystallized Problems, and Chaviosos. Shaz, he has joined back with his buddies Pushies and Rocky in the coaching role, so nice to see that as well. I think 2 coaches is huge if you want to compete. One is for your team, and one is to like kind of watch over the other teams to see what they kind of do. So it's kind of good to have 2 coaches, in my opinion. They have Godsmack. I'm gonna move that. Put Shaz there. Alright. So they have Cardia, Pushies, Rocky, and Adverse. For F1, they have Aimboot, Jailed, Ventry, and Last. For Outcast, they have Cells, Lava, Bronny, and Yachty. I think there was a guy named, it's like Heisey or Hypes or something, that was their coach. That's why they had that little drama with Vane of him being an ass coach. United is still Kenny, Powers, TJ, Demise, and then you had Rubik's, Keem, who played with Powers. So these guys are kind of like the duo for coaching. And then PK, you have Chaos, Monkeys, Raver, Desnide. Then you have Demise and Cronus as a duo for coaching. And then for Noble, they have Toady, Dyslexic, Exploits, Fiercely for coaching. In Furnace, I'm not sure who else is in that coaching role. Rise, you got Detox, Avexies, Rushies for sure on this roster. The question mark is really icee still going to be playing with this team? Whatnot. You got Infinity, that's the main coach, and then Ribs, he's like the analyst for the team. Does that mean that Enzim is on this roster or not? Who knows? And then KCP, you got Jacko and Bebel and their coaching staff, and there's that. Yeah, nothing much else. Definitely will show you guys, tell you guys what's going on in the the new roster here. I should probably put in oh yeah, there it is. Sean 8, Zoom, Triggers, and Bodies. So very interesting choice for Zoom to join these guys. I feel like he could have played with better players in my opinion, but it is what it is. That's what he chose, and that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, like for LATAM scene, we could really see some crazy things. Like we see Gary, Shockwave, Jax, Krabbies all be on a team. I think that'd be pretty insane LATAM team to come out of it. They were part of that Elevate roster with Nero on it. But to have Jax, I think that's probably even more improvement. Krabby's definitely got nerfed with the whole him can't sliding, but this one kind of brought it back, so maybe he's a better player again with the update. Yeah, that's what happened for the past week in Gears. Hope you guys enjoy, and peace.